Welcome to the Bigger Room podcast. I'm your host, Mel Cobian.
And I'm Jill Bender. And today's episode is You're Not Doing Enough.
Oof.
Yeah, this is gonna be tough love for you guys today. This is gonna be the kick in the butt that you are looking for. And it's really what most of us need. So what does it mean when we say you're not doing enough, Mel? What are we talking about?
Sometimes people get caught up on the details of following like things like I did this, I did that, and they think that that's enough. But that's never the case. There's always more you can do. And the classic example is the input you put in is the output. That's for everything. Like any goal that you have, your input is the output. And the output that we all want, right? We're all dreaming big and have big dreams, but our input doesn't match. You're not doing enough.
Right. Even if you just want to stay at a traditional 9-to-5, this still applies. If you're just doing the bare minimum and then you're complaining that you're not getting promoted, you're not getting raises, I think people, they get in a job environment, I think they feed off of each other and they're like, well, I'm not going to do more than you're paying me for. Well, they're not going to ever move you up because you're not doing anything extra. So why do you deserve to get the bigger pay? Why do you deserve to move positions if you're not even showing them that you have that effort? You can't just save it and hope that they promote you and then you give it all. It starts from the beginning. Why are you laughing?
Because there's just this very clear, like, generational gap with, I'm only, I just think back to some of the jobs that I had. Like, you know, I worked at Target, I worked at a grocery store, and I worked in vitamin departments, and it's just very clear, like, the generational gap there with, like, I don't like saying the word older, but more mature adults think that way. And the younger generation, younger than me, think the way that it's like, well, I'm only getting paid for this, so I'm only going to do this task. I'm not going to go help that department because I don't get paid to help that department. I'm not going to, do this extra task because I don't get paid for that department. So it's always about like them preserving their energy, which again, it's like, okay, like, you're grounding yourself and you're standing up for what you believe in. At the same time, though, it's not the norm to do that, right? Because as managers, business owners, they're looking for people who are going to help their business, right? So if you have the mindset of I'm only going to do what I'm paid to do, maybe you should look into being an entrepreneur because you will always work and not get paid.
That's funny. We can also tie this into fitness. Okay, so if let's say you're going and you're working out every day, like, oh, I've been working out for, well, let's just say 45 minutes every day. I've been working out 45 minutes a day. Okay, what are you eating? You can't go work out for 45 minutes and then consume 2,000 calories in the day. It's not going to make a difference that you worked out. It's the effort that you're putting in is how you're going to get the output that you're looking for. So we can really make this about anything,
especially with fitness. What I find a lot of people would do when I had full days of clients is the reward. It's like, I just got my workout and now I'm gonna go reward myself. And it's like, here you are taking 3 steps forward and then like 10 steps back. And yeah, humans are funny.
Humans are funny. And my personal trainer, she said that she used to I think she was like a fitness trainer for Motorola. And she said that, they would pay her to let their employees would come in and she would do classes with them or whatever. And she said I would have them write down what they were eating throughout the day. And she's like, they would write down salad. And she's like, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, you're not eating a salad every day unless your salad consists of, heavy dressing, loaded with toppings. You've got croutons. You've got like all the everything. It's a giant meal instead of just a salad. So yeah, it's you really need to step back. And I think that's what the lesson we're going to try and drill into your head is you have to look at yourself. You cannot look at and blame any of the other stuff. It all is you, and it is all the amount of effort that you're willing to put in.
Something beautiful happens when you take accountability because you have no one else to blame. And I think a lot of people, it's easier to blame external factors and hold on to, well, I was born with bad genetics. I was born into, the wrong generation. I wasn't born into wealth. As long as you continue to hold on to the stories and you give a story to every circumstance that you have, you're not taking accountability and you're never going to do enough because you attach a story to everything. That's the issue.
And not a story like I attach to things. My stories are
just that's story time. That's different. More of the going back to the previous the episode where we were talking about victim mindset. You may not think that you have the victim mindset, but chances are that if you truly are not where you want to be, chances are that you're holding on to a story that's keeping you from reaching your full potential. But I really have to stress, when you take accountability, it's one important thing that one of my mentors taught me was, you are living in a movie. Like, this life is your movie. You hired the actors, you're the movie star, you wrote the script. And if you start seeing your life that way, no matter what crazy stuff has happened, because I'm sure all of us have gone through some crazy dark times that you would think like, I didn't write that into my story, but things happen in your life for a reason. You either get stuck there or you don't. And until you let go, you're always going to do the bare minimum to get by. Always.
Yep. Always. And the reason that I wanted to kind of have this conversation in this episode is because I have had, now that I have been running my online business successfully, for, we'll just say over a year. We'll just call it over a year.
Mm-hmm.
Twice now, I have come face to face with the reality that it's me. It's what is it? Isn't it the Taylor Swift song? It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. It's 100% truth. It is. I'm the problem. So I remember in the early days when I was really, really starting to ramp up, and I kept saying, okay, well, I'm still not seeing the results. I'm still not seeing the results. And my mentor said, you're still not doing these things that I have told you are going to work. And I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm kind of doing them. He's like, well, you have to do them. You can't kind of do them. It's your effort. You have to do it. So it was a sit back, really reflect on what he was saying. And once I figured out it was me thinking I'm doing all these things when really I should have been doing probably double of what I was doing. And once I did that, that's when everything changed. So yeah, that was the first one. And now recently, because this has been an interesting year so far, a lot of changes with Instagram. And if you don't know, Mel and I primarily run on Instagram. Like, that is our business. And so many changes, so many road bumps that we didn't know were, like, we would have never predicted this was going to happen. We had to readjust. We had to move on to different things or change the way we're doing a lot of things. And now we're 5 months in, and I've come face to face with the reality again that it's me. I've been blaming all the road bumps this year for where I'm at right now. And just every road bump was like, oh my God, like, you keep standing up, you get knocked down, stand up, I realized that instead of just getting knocked down and standing up, I needed to stand up and move out of my own way.
Jill, that kind of reminds me of sometimes we feel like we're missing something, right? We have this knowledge that sometimes we pay a ton of money for. And maybe we don't implement it because we don't know that sometimes it's that simple. Or maybe it's something that you know, but you forgot to do because you didn't realize that it played a huge role in you getting results. And sometimes people that aren't taking action, it's just that simple, is you already have all the answers. There's no secret sauce. Take action with all the tools that you do have, because I promise you that you already have all the answers.
Yep.
Chances are you do.
We know what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no magic sauce or secret sauce that's, that people are hiding.
I used to think there was a secret.
I did too.
That.
Oh, I did too. It's like, why them? Why not me? And even now, right? It's like you're always looking for that to get to that next level, to that next level, to that next level. But the mistake people make is they start comparing themselves to somebody else, and now you're like, oh, they know something I don't. What am I doing wrong? And so then you kind of like maybe you stop taking action, or you get too focused on somebody else's journey, and that also derails you, and you don't do enough because you're like, I'm not even where I want to be. Like, why should I take action? Or I've been taking action, but I haven't gotten any results. It's because you already have the answers. You're just not applying everything. You're not implementing everything.
Yeah, you're taking I'm not going to say a lazy route, because I know you truly think you are doing like so much work, but you have to stop and say, what else can I do? What else can I add to this? What am I missing? There's steps I'm just skipping, avoiding. Maybe I think they're too hard. Maybe I think I don't know how to do them. Just do them. And for me, the first example was I kept being told to show up in stories. And I was like, stories? That's stupid. Like, I don't have that many followers. Why would I show up in stories? It's a lot of effort. And once I showed up in stories, then everything started changing for me. And still today, like more recently, I'm like, I'm not showing up in stories. And that really is a huge one. But yeah, I have like 100 excuses of why I'm not showing up in stories. And now I recently threw aside all the excuses. And like I said, I looked at everything, and I'm like, it's me. And I've started looking at everything. I'm like, it's always you or me. It's always. I truly don't even think it's ever anybody's fault on anything. It is.
No.
It is you. And even if you didn't get the tools yet, let's say you didn't get a course or whatever, there's some reason you think you don't need one. There's some reason that's holding you back from even doing it. And so now you're going to blame the fact that you didn't get it until you do. And so you have to stop. You have to look at yourself. Like, be 100% honest with you. There's nobody else in your head. There's not one person that is in your head that's judging you but yourself. So
that is so true. That is so true. So many people get caught up. Like, I had someone, one of my students, talking about, not wanting their friends and family knowing about what they're doing. And I found that very interesting, because I think for a lot of people, the first time if you're in the content creation niche, like you need to create content for your business like we do, I think we all felt that way, right? Like, it was like, oh, this is kind of weird. It's super fucking cringe. I think that's the first time I've cursed on the podcast, because it's like super effing cringe. Yeah. And the reason why is because it's like, let's be real, like a lot of the content that we had to create, like, that's the way it is. But like, an important part of that, like the biggest takeaway, is you have to be in alignment, so that you have the intent behind what you do, so that it shows up that way in your life. If you're just like, dang, I have to create content, I don't want to do this, and that's the energy you're showing up with, and you're like, oh man, I have to create a story, and I have to do this, and you don't want to do it, don't do it. A lot of the content I didn't want to do in the beginning, I did it anyway because it's all I knew. But as we're learning, right, things are always changing. You have to be adaptable. That's the other thing, right?
For sure.
You have to be teachable. Yeah. If you're not teachable, game over.
Well, you also have to be adaptable. You can't let the change, like I said, we had so many changes this year. You can't let that now become the excuse that you're riding on. You have to figure out how to get over that and overcome that and change and pivot.
The common denominator between everyone, every individual, is you. If people take the same course, it's like, oh, why didn't they get results and why did they do? Chances are, right, if we really do take inventory of what's going on, yeah, there could be some factors, but at the end of the day, the common denominator is you. It is your responsibility to make sure how you're showing up to your business. Are you really going above and beyond? Because I'm going to be honest, everyone that I know that had more success than I did, what I can see clearly now that they did differently is they protected their energy, which is what I'm doing now. And the people that had success along with us, we all went above and beyond in so many ways. So many ways. And I was gonna say another thing that I found that I'm like just noticing from coaching people is the reason they don't go above and beyond. If you're somebody who's not going above and beyond, it's because unconsciously humans like to self-sabotage because you don't have to believe. Yeah, like because like your subconscious mind, even again, it's you're not aware of that, doesn't believe deep down that you can accomplish your goal. So consciously you're like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But your body, right, your subconscious mind is like, no, you can't. No, you can't. So then in some ways, again, you may not be aware of this, you start protecting yourself because you're expecting failure. So you're protecting yourself and you're not taking the action that you need to do. That's one thing I'm noticing that people, that's why they don't go above and beyond.
Self-doubt.
Self-doubt and self-sabotage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? Those are habits. Those are habits, bad habits that freaking human mind likes to control. And you probably, if you're doing it in your business, you're probably doing it with your nutrition and your fitness and your relationships and your environment. Like, chances are.
It's
like you eat super healthy 5, 6, day 7. It's like self-sabotage.
Like I've been good for 6 days. Now I'm gonna order a pizza, eat a whole cake, and a container of ice cream.
Yeah. So it's finding the balance. So maybe that's what you need to do is you need to find the balance with your goals so that you can go above and beyond.
Yeah.
You're wasting energy somewhere if that's the case. You're wasting energy in the wrong things. You need to remove that negativity, whatever it is, so that you can focus on shifting that to something that's going to serve you.
So one of the things that I noticed in my coaching group is like a lot of the content that I see them create and that you see newbies create, they create like the easiest content that they can, come up with. And that's fine because you're just learning how to edit, you're learning how to post, you're learning how to get consistent in creating content and everything else. But what I've been trying to encourage them is, okay, we need to step out of that little comfort zone that you just created for yourself. And now it's time to add a little bit more in. And I think I'm really good with like talking reels. And I think that sets me apart from a lot of people is the stuff that I come up with and that I bring into it. And so I've been trying to tell them that. And I think that's when I started really thinking about, and this is not the people in my group, I'm not saying this about them, I'm saying this about how so many people will buy a course, a mentorship, a program, whatever they're going to call it. And then when they don't succeed with it, they immediately fail, or they immediately accuse the course, the mentorship, the program. And all the tools were provided to them. I guarantee whatever you purchase, the tools were there. It's what you did with them. And a lot of times, especially in this kind of business, I think having somebody that's going to be there and support you through it is going to help tremendously. But it all comes down to you. I had somebody just message me recently and they're like, I don't even know where to start. I'm like, okay, well, do you belong to anything? Oh, they're like, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to create an Instagram account. I don't know how to create content. I don't know this. And I'm like, okay, have you purchased like a program, a course? Is there something you already have or you need this? And she's like, yeah, I purchased so-and-so. And she named the course. I'm like, you have every tool. Have you started even watching a single training video on, like, you haven't even open the book basically and you're wondering why you don't know how to do the math problem. Like you have to open the book, you have to actually do something. And that's, you were just saying, when we were offline, Mel was talking about how she can see how many people are. Go ahead, Mel, you explain it.
Yeah, so as a course creator, I totally understand exactly what you're saying, Joe. So shout out to my community if you guys are listening. So on Monday for our community call, we took the time to pretty much kind of pull the community's ear and with love and compassion, because I know when people don't take action, something else is going on. So if you're somebody who like, oh man, maybe I am self-sabotaging, or maybe like this totally is relating, you are aware now, so you're at this like decision point for you to take action,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So like it's from a place of love and compassion, so that was communicated to the community. But we could basically see like the average student, if we gathered how far they were into the course, it was less than 20%. So if you look at a course, let's just think of a course. 100% is obviously 100% course completion, and
Mm-hmm.
the average student was less than 20% through the course. And knowing that every section delivers the next. Okay, so when you solve a problem, when you have a solution to a problem, you find another problem, and so the course is going to solve multiple problems. And then people just like stopped first 20% of the course, and it's like now they have all these questions, and it's like it's very clear to like somebody who's coaching people, course creators, when students are truly living and embodying who they want to become.
Yeah, and we've been doing this a long time. And even I didn't create a course, but I can have a conversation with somebody and they're like, or I can even look at their content and I know exactly how far they've gone in the like the mentorship that I'm in. I know exactly. I'm like, you haven't even hit these modules yet. You either didn't practice them or learn them, or you haven't opened any of those yet. So you kind of need to look at the material before you start questioning whether or
Yeah.
not something works.
You know me and my sticky notes, Jill. So kind of looping back to what I said earlier, is a question that I have for me like this month is, what can I do to play a different movie? So this is about my life, right? What can I do? What do I need to do? If I'm the producer, the director, and I hired all the directors, or all the, I can't even understand my own writing. I wrote this script and I am the movie star of my life. What do I need to do? What can I do to play a different movie if I'm not where I want to be? So that's tying it back to that accountability,
Yeah.
right? Whatever you're doing right now, like you wrote the script. If you think about it that way, what does that do for you? Takes you where Jill admitted today, like twice this year, you've taken accountability twice, that it's you.
Yep. I'm the problem. But it's true. Even so, this is a silly example, and we could probably wrap this. Once I was like, okay, yeah, this is me, this is me, this is me. So as we kind of, I think, mentioned maybe in the last episode, I have a new hobby, and if you watch my stories ever, I have a saltwater fish tank now, and I've been obsessed with it. And a saltwater fish tank is a little bit harder to maintain than a freshwater tank. It requires more effort in the setting up and watching your levels and watching all these factors and having patience. And I probably shouldn't have fish in there yet, but I already had bought them and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I could really just watch a YouTube video on how to set up a tank and then let it be and go, oh, why did my fish die? I don't understand what happened. Or I could put in 100% effort and check everything and then check it again and then maybe check it again and then do the extra. So it's doing it all and not just going, okay, I'm good. I got the majority of it. I know exactly. I know it all now, but it's full effort. And so that kind of, once I started setting that up, I was like, okay, and I think back in, when I was younger and how much effort I put into certain things, and I see what kind of results I got. And I know exactly why I got those results, because I can see the effort I put in or lack of effort. So really, it is us. And that is our takeaway. That is like really all we need to say about this. I think you understand. You should absolutely look inside and see what you're blaming things on, see how
Yes.
it's you, and what you can do to improve things, to go the extra mile, to everything in life.
Thank you for tuning into the Bigger Room podcast. As always, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave us a review so more people can find us, and we'll see you in the next episode.